Headstrong, single-minded, and fearless, Muriel would not hesitate to charge into the fray with no thought beyond doing her version of the right thing. It was one of her most frustrating and endearing qualities. She keeps life from growing stale. A man never knew what she'd do next, what madness she'd wreak, what chaos she'd provoke. Armed with this expectation, Auric could admit he needed reinforcements. He already had a certain cat on board. Time to recruit some others. The gleaming kitchen, with its superbly modern cupboards in white, showed fingerprints, tiny ones in a variety of flavors. Chocolate, Muriel's fave. Peanut butter, smeared on the white subway tile backsplash, was something David ate by the spoonful. The bottle tipped over on the table was root beer, Lucinda's flavor choice. Auric usually preferred his without the root. It seemed a certain sticky-fingered girl took after her parents, and certainly put her mark on things. David took a peek and whistled. No wonder Muriel is losing her shit today. This is bad. Bad? It's a kid being a kid. Auric saw the mess and thought not much of it. Kids were messy. Except David didn't agree. This is doing it on purpose. The kitchen was spotless this morning, and Lucinda is a smart kid. There is no way a single child in that span of time could naturally cause such a mess. This took someone with special skills. No use in getting offended over the fact that David had called their child different. Couldn't argue with the truth. But why? Why purposely drive her mother to mental exhaustion? The idea niggled as they bypassed the opening leading to the mudroom, which had gone from bleached haven to... Did a squirrel get loose in there? What else could explain the mud marks on the ceiling, and yet another clue to Muriel's exhausted state? The next door was closed, and Auric yanked it open. No disaster here, just an ominous pathway down into the bowels of the house. He entered the basement with David on his heels. The door, on a pneumatic hinge, swung shut behind him, but LED lights inset on the steps illuminated the path downward leading to the vampire's lair, Tyval's home in the daytime. While the soulless bastard was tough, he truly couldn't handle sunlight. As Auric tread down the stairs, it hit him how far he'd come since he'd met Muriel months ago. He'd begun life as an angel, and he meant literally began. People had often mused upon where angels came from. He could answer with absolute certainty that no one knew, or if they did, they kept it a secret. All Auric remembered of his awakening was opening his eyes and a feminine voice saying, "Welcome to heaven. Please put on this robe." Strange, and yet everyone he dared ask that was angelic in nature repeated the same experience. His kind couldn't procreate with themselves, only humans and certain types of demons. As a mixture of both, Muriel proved capable also of bearing him a child. Even if she couldn't, he would have fallen for her anyway. Muriel presented the ultimate forbidden fruit, and once he'd found himself enthralled by her, he finally understood why Adam and Eve had disobeyed. He should note, though, that she wasn't the reason for his fall or disgrace. His disobedience began before he'd even met Muriel. Originally, Auric served as a soldier in God's army of light. Endless days of pretty sword work and flight drills. Only rarely were the soldiers of heaven called into action. But the thing was, once Auric tasted the allure of battle and fighting for justice and peace, that was where he perhaps committed his first sin. The sin of enjoyment. He enjoyed helping others. He wanted to do more, so he asked his superiors what else they could do to help mankind. Nothing was their answer. Those in charge let the injustices of the world continue. They refused to act. Auric didn't understand. Did they not want man to ascend to heaven? At the time, he still held unwavering belief, a belief that faltered as tragedies continued to occur. He watched as atrocities unfolded that would have enjoyed a different outcome if only the angels intervened. It frustrated him to sit and do nothing. A champion was needed. His